The world is a book, and those who do not travel read only a page. May I now request everyone to please close your eyes. Yeah, please. To enjoy this experience, you have to. Imagine you are on the top of a plateau in the Himalayas. As you step out of your frost covered tent, a cool breeze blows across your face, caressing your hair and kissing your cheeks. The winter sun is rising in the distance, bathing you in its golden light. You take a lungful of fresh air and you get refreshed, recharged. Far below, on your left, smoke rises from the chimneys of tiny homes in a distant village. That's where you came from yesterday. And on your right are towering snow-clad peaks reminding you of the adventurous trek ahead. But you are not worried about that, for you are enjoying the now, the gift of the moment, soaking in the treasures and pleasures of Mother Nature unseen in your dreary urban life. This is what a traveler sees. Please open your eyes. From this majesty, from pristine Himalayas, let us now travel to the lively jungle of Kaziranga in Assam. Well, this was my first trip in the wild in March 2006, thanks to my friend Dr. Ajit Deshmukh. And this elephant right there makes for quite a pretty picture, doesn't he? Am I right? What if you had four of these giants charging at your vehicle full speed? You are in an open vehicle with no cover. How would that feel? Well, I had that. A scary experience, a near-death experience, or so I thought. I need to enact a bit of this, this it's quite heavy, almost 5 kilos. So, another benefit of traveling is you become a good physique even without doing something. So, it was my first ever jungle drive, okay, first ever. Towards the end of it, we were blocked by an elephant huddle, 4 or 5 elephants and with their calves in between. So our very experienced guide, Punen Gogoi, he said that they are smelling a predator nearby, a tiger or a leopard, and that's why they are protecting their kids. But hum inko bhagata hai, because we cannot go back. I will shoo them away. And he proceeds to bang on the gypsy door and he hollers at the top of his voice, I am waiting with bated breath. That's my first time in the jungle. I was hoping that those elephants would move away. What happened next? Instead of going away, they just turned and ran full speed at us. And my friend who was standing next to me, experienced in jungle manners, he knew it's a mock charge. He got some stunning pictures. What did I do? So many thoughts flashed through my mind. I was thinking of my family. I was thinking of my 2-year-old daughter, but then I'm going to see her again. Thankfully, nothing happened. It was a mock charge. A valuable lesson learned that day. Do your homework before you step into the forest. Had I known that they are not going to charge at me, I would definitely have got better pictures than this one. Another important thing that I picked up as a traveler then, my friend used to point out, my guide used to point out, sir, look at that bird in the tree. And I used to stare and see nothing. I used to gaze and gaze and gaze, and I used to feel only one emotion, stupid. But then, slowly and steadily, I realized that I need to train my eyes and focus and look into it for minute observation. Minute observation that has helped me many a times in my classes to catch hold of mischievous students. They are bamboozled. How did he see us? And I've also avoided many an accident because, there are morons everywhere in cities and highways. So, an intangible benefit of traveling. We Indians are foodies. I know you're not hungry anymore. It's good my presentation is post-lunch. But we have our very decided, dedicated food preferences. In Assam, everything is cooked in mustard oil. And I was not used to that. So even swallowing the first morsel was a pain. I just couldn't stand the smell. But I told myself that, boss, you cannot survive on biscuits for a whole week. So you better start getting used to it. So a traveler learns to adapt with the circumstances. He adjusts. He enjoys food at 5 stars as well as dhabas, as well as local eateries. Making a checklist is something I picked up. It's very important. If you're going to do something offbeat and it's not a guided tour, it's better that you have your own target list of birds, animals, people, monuments. Make a list so that when you're done with the trip, you can actually cross-check how much you have seen and how much you have missed. And by the way, this picture was taken with a cell phone. So camera is only as good as the user. I did several jungle safaris after that. And don't worry, I'm not just going to talk about jungles. Learned a lot of lessons, very, very important lessons in all my trips. Do you know which bird is this? Anybody? Yeah? Yes, it's a Baya weaver. You don't need to go to the jungles to see this. You can see this on the outskirts of Mumbai also. And this male, this guy, he makes this nest halfway through. And after that, he calls out to the female and invites her to inspect it. If she likes it, she will partner with him and they will finish the nest and they will become a mating pair. If she doesn't, she simply flies away. And this poor fellow has to start rebuilding, build another nest. You know what's most important lesson learned? I learned as a traveler in so many of my trips from various experts that in the natural kingdom, in the animal kingdom, in the bird kingdom, it's always the female who calls the shots. Be it this tiny bird or a blue whale or any other elephant or tiger in between, the male can only apply. The female decides whether to reply or not. There are no rapes, no brutalities, no acid attacks in the natural kingdom. The jungle is very clear. The female is the boss. Oh yeah, how can I forget something very interesting related to birds? There are 3 bird calls I would like to tell you because many of you may not have seen forest birds. There is this bird called Indian pitta. They aptly called Navranga in Hindi. It has 9 colors on this small body. You know how this call goes? And these forest birds in central India are amazingly melodious. It's like an orchestra of its own. It goes. It's as if it's happy that we came to the jungle to see it. And he's saying, thank you, thank you. Well, the other bird is Indian cuckoo in the central Indian forest. He is a very thirsty guy. You're always asking for one more bottle, one more bottle. That's how he goes. And the third, and a very irritating bird of the Indian jungles, those who have ever been to the central Indian forests in summers will remember this bird. It's called the common hawk cuckoo, but it's dubbed as the brain fever bird by a British explorer. Not for nothing. Its call goes like this, and it's incessant, non-stop. Goes. Brain fever, brain fever, brain fever. So there is so much to learn, so much to pick up. These cute moments are frozen in time and in my memory forever. Yeah, I know. As soon as I spoke about jungles, weren't you waiting for this picture? Yes, the tiger is the apex predator. People are very much interested in seeing a tiger. But I suggest whenever you travel to a jungle, please don't hunt only for the tiger. The tiger is beautiful, no doubt, he's the king, but the entire forest is amazing. Do not focus only on the icing, enjoy the entire cake, is what I would like to suggest. And yeah, why? Some of you might wonder, why is this save tiger thing such a in thing? On the top of the food chain, he needs 25 to 30 square kilometers of forest to survive. That's his area. So if one tiger is saved, in effect, we save 30 square kilometers of forest, every tree within, every bird within, every insect within, every grass within. So that's why the tiger is the flagship for conservation. Yeah, a site like this can never be forgotten. By the way, all of these are my pictures. Not picked anything from the net. This was 1 hour away from Nagpur, a bustling city, just 1 hour away from this. I've also trekked a lot thanks to my friend Surendra, who introduced me to trekking, insisted that I go on treks. He says, come out of your comfort zone. Trekking, a very important lesson learned by this traveler. Trekking takes you out of comfort zone. It makes you understand that you can adjust with circumstances. You can be prepared for anything around that bend and expect the unexpected. Some amazing sights in my travels. That's me rappelling 450 feet down Sandan Valley in Bhandardara. While I jumped off from the cliff, I could not see the bottom. But a traveler, an adventurer, always takes a leap of faith. Something that you will also see in my next picture. Earlier this year in Australia, I decided to do the craziest thing in my life: skydive from 14,000 feet. How many of you have taken off in a plane without a seatbelt? Anybody out there? Yeah, I know some adventurous types. And how many of you have actually done it while sitting on the floor? And that too looking the other way. The plane is flying this way and you're looking this way. Well, that is how I was seated. Next to me was a shutter, and my instructor, Sandros, he was telling me, when we reach 14,000 feet, you just have to jump off. I'll give you a cue and you need just jump. I said, well, yeah, that's like another day in the office. I do this every day for a living, yeah. He had done hundreds of jumps, so for him it was obvious, but for me, giant butterflies in my tummy. But I could not show that fear on my face because someone else was looking up to me. Who was it? I'll let you know eventually. Well, these are the longest 10 seconds of my life. At 14,000 feet, the shutter was opened and he asked me to, okay, move my legs out. They were as heavy as lead, but I somehow managed. And then when it is hanging out, I don't know what this guy is doing, looking at his altimeter, maybe for the exact height. I'm like, man, why are we jumping? My heart was actually thudding in my mouth. I could hear myself breathing. And when we finally jumped off, it was a 200 kilometer per hour free fall. For 10,000 feet, we fell in hardly 45 to 50 seconds, mad wind rushing into my hair. I could hardly feel anything until he opened the parachute at 4,000 feet and we soared like an eagle. Do I look a bit nervous here? I do. And look at this one. Absolutely enjoying it. That's my daughter, Sia. At the time of the jump, she was 12 years, 8 months, and 16 days. One of the youngest person ever to jump in Wollongong Beach, Australia. And that is a person who was looking to me, so I had to be brave. Really proud of her. So one important lesson as a traveler I would like to share with you. You lead by example. You tell your kids that we have to go to typical holiday destination, they will follow suit. And if you tell them that, yes, we want to do something different, jeete hai, let's live and enjoy and experience life, they will also do the same. I saw my first tiger when I was 26. Sia saw it when she was 2 years and 8 months. We did a lot of birding in Australia. I requested my family, give me 2 days for birding. Again, how you make friends across continents. 2-3 months before I was to go to Australia, I wrote a mail to NSW Birding Organization requesting them to help me with some locations. They actually helped me with a guide, a vastly experienced guy, 62 years young, Alan Richards. Yeah, that's an Aussie hat I picked up. So 62 years young Alan Richards, it showed me around some amazing sites. That's a sulfur-crested cockatoo. These are noddies and terns who have used human installations to prepare their nest. And this is not a bird, it is a reptile, I know. It's a bearded dragon. And rainbow lorikeets. Well, this guy, 14 countries he had traveled, and I got this guy for free just because I dropped the mail on time. Aussies are not racist according to me. And I really had some wonderful friends in that trip. When I asked him on the last day, Richard, what should I pay you? Alan, what should I pay you? He says, no, nothing, that's all right. I said, at least allow me to pay for the fuel you have used. He says, all right, if you must pay, listen to this. I've been to your country so many times. I've seen so many birds and so many animals. I've seen the tiger many times, but I've never sighted the prince of cats. So the next time I come to India, you have to make sure I see a leopard. So that payment is pending, and we are still communicating. Kenya made me richer in so many ways. Yes, I went to the famous Masai Mara. I saw the big five, everything amazing. But what I remember most are black people with golden hearts. Rafiki is what they call a friend in Swahili, the local language. Do you remember the monkey in The Lion King? Yeah, had I never been to Kenya, I would never have known why his name is Rafiki. That's a friend. So I made several Rafikis. A funny incident I would like to narrate when I went to Masai Mara. After showing us around the village with humble livings and mud thatched roofs, the chief and some of the others were sitting. The chief spoke good English with a heavy accent. And he asked me, "Hey Avi, how many cows do you have back in India? How many cows do you own?" And I'm like, "None." I think there was a bemused expression on his face. And the next question is a stumper. How many wives do you have? I said, one. And they all start roaring with laughter. And he looks at me and says, you are a poor man. You must come to the Mara and become a Maasai. Then you can have as many cows and as many wives as you want. I haven't signed up yet. Back in India, in Uttarakhand and Himachal, I've done a lot of trekking trips and birding trips. And each time I have met some interesting people also. Like these ladies in Uttarakhand, 20 to 30 kilos of firewood they carry over treacherous mountain slopes, back-breaking job even for a man. Learned the art of resilience from these shy, smiling ladies. And I shouldn't have done what I did next. When they had set their load down, I tried to lift it and almost broke my back. 25 kilos in a gym and 25 kilos of odd weighing firewood, odd shaped firewood are no comparison. This is one of the most beautiful classrooms I've ever seen. No smart boards, no air conditioners, no PPTs there. But the chanting of these kids of Hindi and math are still ringing melodiously in my ears. This is not seen by a tourist. Only a traveler who goes to villages and goes offbeat will experience something like this. A road trip to Ladakh, from Thane to Ladakh and back. 6,053 kilometers over 7 states, 1 union territory, 18 adrenaline-pumping, heady, crazy days, and 3 brothers. Of course, we visited the regular destinations. We did Pangong Lake, Leh and monasteries and all. But most importantly, some vibrant Ladakhis, very warm and very friendly people. Jule, namaste, that is what they say. And they greet you and treat you very well. I also tasted the namkeen chai in Ladakh. If anybody has never done that, next time you go to Ladakh, try the namak wali chai. It's very tasty. But the most super sightings that we had and the most amazing pictures we had were offbeat. Somoriri and Sokar are some offbeat location. By the way, in Ladakhi, So means lake. And near these lakes, we had some amazing sightings and met these cute little kids. They belong to a nomad family. Sharing his joy is something we need to teach our kids, right? Here I didn't have to teach. We shared a biscuit packet with this fellow, and he made it a point that he called out to his brothers. They were not on the scene, by the way, and he shared it with them eventually. Lessons learned automatically. This is their humble abode. In the winters, the temperature drops to minus 30 degrees Celsius, but they still make do. They still make do. They survive. Survival of the fittest is the mantra of nature, and man is strong enough to adjust in any circumstances. Some funny moments in my travel. I wonder what that means, but the guide did only sitting and nothing beyond that. Man cub, I know, but man toilet, haha, I don't know what that means. This one takes the cake, by the way. The part which has to be covered is not covered. This we saw on a road trip to Rajasthan. Needless to say, when my friend went in, I was standing guard, and vice versa. Closer home at Amboli, I picked up some amazing insights into a macro world in Konkan. Amboli in the Konkan is a typical picnic spot. People come here just for the monsoon holidays. We crazy travelers, we went a bit offbeat. What we learned by lifting a leaf or upturning a stone or by looking into the bushes, we discovered iridescent insects, fascinating frogs. That's a frog egg, by the way, and it's as small as my thumbnail, the frog egg. Slithering snakes and colorful crabs. All this is possible only when you go a bit off the regular path. Any idea where this picture is taken? Which birds are these? Flamingos, yeah. And where have I clicked this? 20 minutes from where we are seated right now. Yeah, at Airoli, at Vashi, at Banduk. So you do not need to go far away. If time and budget is a constraint, you can find some amazing species and birds and animals and people and farmers and tribals and whatnot right in your backyard, literally. In these past 11 years, I have done 200 small and big trips. I have crossed 18 states, 3 union territories, and I have gone to 4 countries. And this collage will not do justice to all that I have seen. But yeah, stats are important. I myself was knocked out when I found out what are my statistics. In these years, I have seen and photographed 61 reptiles, 69 butterflies, 96 mammals, 213 insects, and 637 birds. And I've just scraped the surface, I must say. There's more to be seen than can ever be seen. There's so much more out there to explore, and I am very eager to learn. A traveler is a student forever. He picks up things regularly. Most importantly, I have found, apart from these animals and birds, I have met so many men, women, and children of diverse castes, creeds, religions, races, each time understanding that my earth, my globe is one. Hey, Vishwachi Maze Ghara. I have truly understood that I am a global citizen and this world is my abode. To quote Rishi Norton, a little piece of everywhere I go becomes a big part of everything I do. So, my friends, I insist, be a traveler, discover hidden treasures, discover the real you, and that will be an awesome testimony to your own self. No classroom can teach you what traveling can. I hope this talk inspires you to be a traveler and not a typical tourist. Thank you.